What's up, guys? Skylos here with Gears of War Lessons, episode number 15. We're going to be talking about my personal favorite rifle right now, the Lancer. I started off the first 5 or 6 days of the game playing with the Retro Lancer, and I've finally just switched to the Lancer, which is what I used during the beta. And I'm not really regretting the change. It's probably the strongest rifle overall. Obviously, the Hammerburst and the Retro are better in certain scenarios, but the Lancer is usually the best weapon for a scenario when ever presents itself. As you can see, it's quite good close range as well. I picked this opening clip because it's a little bit of everything of what the Lancer does. You'll see some close range stopping power type downs, you see some long range support fire, and you'll see the hip fire, which you're going to see a lot during the video as far as the close quarters backpedaling. All of these clips were recorded. I did 4 games, 2 King of the Hill, 1 TDM, 1 Execution. I used nothing but my Lancer. I didn't switch to any other weapons, just maybe picked up one boom I think. And I'll post those gameplays up in full on the Amazing MLG channel so you can check them out. And the stat lines are pretty ridiculous. I'll actually show them at the end of the video. I don't usually do that, but you guys should see it. Using just the Lancer, like I said, it's a really well-rounded weapon, and you aren't going to be in a terrible situation if you have it out. So here we go. One of the strongest points about the Lancer is the active reloads. It is a huge boost, I think 25%, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it's 25% boost in damage, which means the difference between getting like a 1.2 second down and a 1 second down, as we showed in the first video, episode number 14, the weapon breakdown. So you're going to see me during all these clips, usually I'll have active reloads, and if not, then I'll be firing a few bullets off to get active reload, or emptying my entire clip into people so I can get active reload again. And the whole goal is just keep it as much as possible. It's really the difference between someone who's good with the Lancer and someone who's great with the Lancer, in my opinion, is the ability to always have the active reloads going. And then the other thing which separates people is the headshots. It's the only rifle that has a headshot modifier, and it takes it from 100% to 150%, so it'll further cut down on the times where you're already getting the bonus from the actives. So if you get actives plus headshots, you just drop people really, really fast, which I've got a clip coming up, I think, after this one, which shows it. Just ridiculous. Like, whenever you have the chance, you should be going for headshots, but it's not an easy gun to get headshots with because it's not that accurate. But when you get it, you can get downs this quickly. Yeah. Let's see that one again. Down. And it's probably like half a second. Ridiculous. And I even missed the first burst, so just to give you an idea how quickly I could have downed him. So I always try and get headshots whenever the opportunity presents itself. I won't try for it in like every situation, like if they're running away or they're all the way across map, it's not worth it. But if they're standing still, shooting a rifle or something, then I'll line up the headshot just to get that little bit extra. And as you can see here, it's an execution. And execution especially, you want to go for those headshots because the kills matter more than King of the Hill or TDM. So it's just good practice. And again, if you're hitting headshots, you're getting actives non-stop, you'll be a lot better than someone who's using the Lancer who isn't doing those things. And the third thing is stopping power, which I'm sure we've all run into, where you just hit that brick wall, which is the Lancer. And you can get good stopping power with the Hammerburst and Retro as well, but the Lancer is the one which I feel like it's the easiest to kind of lock people down with. And it's especially good for keeping shotgun users at bay. So if they're just walking at you and you hit them with that beam of bullets, then they just can't get to you. But sometimes it's not enough, as you can see there with the sawed-off. So something to keep in mind. It's really good for getting the people from running up on you like this. And the other thing I wanted to go into is positioning with the Lancer. And a lot of it comes down to audio, really. I play with headphones. I use the Astro A40s right now and the Astro Mix Amp. And you can hear people running up from a good distance in Gears 3. So a lot of these, you'll see me just randomly turn around and there's a guy there. That's because I heard it on my headset and I'm just turning and reacting. So a lot of the time I try and position myself so that I'm out of the action, but I'm pretty close to it. And then I'll be able to hear those footsteps and be able to react. So in this case, there's 2 dead. I know they're respawning, and I looked over to that side because in Gridlock they respawn on the docks a lot. So it was really the most natural place to look, especially when I saw they hadn't spawned in the tower with the other 2 guys. And in this case, I'm going to hear footsteps. You'll see me twitch my camera real quick to see if there's anyone over there. I didn't see him, but I thought there was someone over there, so I started backing up. And that's when I saw the second sawed-off guy and ended up getting both of them down. using the nasty, nasty hip fire with the active reloads. And that's going to be the story of this whole video. You're going to see it a lot. The backing up active reload hip fire spray. And this clip I used wanted to show how you kind of bait people. And you can do it with any gun, but the Lancer is real good because of the aforementioned stopping power and active reload combo. So they can't get close to you. And a lot of times when people come and they flank like this, they'll be coming with a shotgun. So as you can see, the hill was moving. I went down, saw if he was following, checked again to see if he was following, didn't see him. But again, I heard him coming down, so I turned and looked at him and got the down. He probably should have got me with a shotgun, but I think it illustrates the idea of backing away, knowing that people will follow you. And then just kind of listening for it and getting the down easily. Usually you want to go behind a wall where you get right-hand advantage and then do it. That way they can't see you and you can just wait for them. And usually with the Lancer you want to be using support fire and just putting as much damage to people as possible across the map. As you can see I was doing there, but it's not always an option and people will get up in your face and you'll have to run away. And when doing so, it's important to keep track of the people. So in this case, I knew one of them would go wide. Like everyone always goes wide around that corner. And then as soon as that guy went out, I knew I had company coming, so I tried to down him as quickly as possible. And then I was able to turn around just in time to see that guy coming around the corner and roll out. And lucky for me, he wasn't a little bit quicker, else I would have been trapped in the corner. But being able to keep tabs on people is really important for your map awareness in general, to be able to not have to fight tons of those close quarters battles. And here, I didn't see that guy up top pushing up and backing him off with the Lancer. And if you get someone hurt with the Lancer, you generally want to follow up and see if you can just get any kind of shots as they're running away. Your bullets don't really cost anything to use because you have so many bullets before you have to reload. So it's good just to kind of spray the bullets, even if you can't even see them. Like, I'll usually fire like where I think their back should be if they were running away. And sometimes you'll get clips as they go down hills or up hills or around corners. And you'll see a little bit later on, there's a few clips of like people running behind objects, and then you just keep spraying and you'll get just one bullet to hit, and that's the last one you need to down. And as you can see, they came up one at a time, making this pretty easy to get the hipfire spray into a chainsaw. And I'm going to go ahead and segue that right into the chainsaw. It's rarely the best thing to use, but it's fun as hell, so I'll go ahead and cover scenarios where you might want to chainsaw someone. The guy standing there challenging you to come out with a digger out, you might want to chainsaw him. Just throwing that out there. Don't know what he was doing. But in this case, there's 3 dead from the nade, as you can see on the kill feed, and there's one up here. I saw using TACCOM my ally was up there, so I went ahead and revved the chainsaw. Worst case scenario, I die, he gets the kill. Best case scenario, obviously, I just went up there and chainsawed him. And the more common scenario is that someone comes up on you like this and surprises you, and you really have no other option but to chainsaw. You can't really hip fire him at that point because you're already full red. So in that case, I gave him a little bit of strafe and gave him the chainsaw. And this is more just careless, you know, fun chainsaw. But he had an incendiary grenade. So it's good in some scenarios. It's pretty easy to stop. But if you're trying to get too cute, you will get torn up by better players. Especially good shotgun players will usually tend to get you. So I just want to talk real quick about the different game types. This is from TDM. And when I play TDM with the Lancer, I like to put in lots of damage, but I'm more looking for picks. So I'll go to places where people are trying to rush, and I'll always try and set up with my Lancer ahead of time so that I can get them on the way up. And you get a kill here, and you get a kill there, and then you just try and stay where the action is, and then play it that way. Usually I don't use just the Lancer in TDM though, but since I was doing it for this video, it was pretty interesting. I couldn't really do much because I couldn't grab power weapons, but it was alright. King of the Hill is kind of more of the same. Just put as much damage as possible, support fire. I like to stay around the hills but don't really go in them as much. So I'll try and kill 2-3 people before I start pushing for the hill. And you'll see I actually get a lot of captures but not that many breaks. So when you see the stats at the end, I had like 10 caps on each game, but didn't do a ton of breaks. And at the beginning of games, I like put myself around the hill, far back, just lancering, getting active. And I will finish games with a ton of downs and giving my teams lots of assists as well, which isn't tracked, but I wish it was, because I would have so many. I think I'm involved in like 80-90% of the kills in some of these games. Execution is a lot slower, obviously. I think the Lancer is most successful in fast-paced games where you can constantly be hitting the action with your Lancer fire. But in execution, you can play pretty smart. Like in this case, Mira's out of the way. I don't have to worry about her, so I'm looking for the other guy who was over there, which I'd seen earlier. And if you have right hand with the Lancer, you just shut down pushes. Like, he couldn't see me in that scenario, or he might have been able to see him. I'm not sure, but but a lot of times people can't see you if you have right hand, so it's pretty easy to just sit there and wait. And when you're around a corner like that, people like to push with their shotguns, so it's a good way of shutting down shotgun play if you're able to bait them like that. And here's another one, execution. Just gonna see setup a bit. This is headshots right here. If I wasn't getting headshots, I wouldn't have gotten down that guy as fast. So I'm gonna go try and follow it up. Again, I like to go for headshots as much as possible, and in this case I do have actives, so the hip fire is going to be pretty devastating, and I'm just spraying bullets to try and get his back, and I got him, like I was saying earlier. So here, Mira's over there, and I can hear fighting behind me, so I know there's one back there, and he's actually going to start shooting at me. So by going into the back here, I split them, and we can have a 2v1 with that guy, but I know she's going to be chasing, and I turn around and there she is, which is another case of baiting the opponents, and again, the Lancer is one of the best weapons at turning around and punishing that when they chase. So I don't usually do this, but because of the circumstances, I'm going to show my stats from these games. Man, it was 4 games, nothing but Lancer. I think I picked up Boomshot once on Gridlock and used it and got 3 kills. But look at those downs, 43 downs. The rest of my team had 12 total. 12 total downs for the rest of my team. And there's TDM, 14, 14, and 6. Execution, I was 6-0 and 9 downs. And then my other King of the Hill, 30 kills, 42 downs, 10k points in 2 rounds. My point being, the Lancer is probably the only weapon that can do that. You aren't going to get that many downs with the Retro under normal circumstances. The Hammer Burst is really good, but you end up having to reload too much to get a lot of those downs. So you'll finish somewhere in the middle range, but you'll be able to drop people a bit quicker if you have a quick trigger finger. So what I'm really trying to get at is if you're new to Gears, you are trying to figure out a rifle that's good for you, and you aren't really good enough to put yourself in the perfect scenario for your starting rifle, the Lancer is more often than not going to be the weapon that you want out in any scenario. Someone gets close, you just hip fire. Someone's long range, you just shoot. Try and keep your actives as much as possible. You can get crazy scores in ranked and help your team a ton while getting those scores. Can't emphasize that enough. It's a huge team weapon in King of the Hill and TDM. So, with that said, that was my How to Lancer video. Hope you guys learned something. Be back next week with another video. Peace.